everybody? My name's Forgetting. Today I wanted to just chat. I would have done a video of the greatest penguin heist of all time, but I ironically had a very intense headache last night, so I kind of don't want to play a flashy lighty game because of what happened. It was really bad, and I think it might have been actually a migraine, which really sucks, and I hate that that's my genetics, but it is what it is. But thankfully I also have migraine relief pills, so it is what it is. But yeah, pretty much I'm here to just kind of like talk to everyone and do a little bit of some gaming news, because I heard some interesting stuff and I just wanted to talk about it, so might as well. Since I can't do a Greatest Penguin Heist video, and I can only do a Dark Souls video today, or Elden Ring video today, might as well make a filler of just video gaming. So currently the Game of the Year Awards is going on, and all I can say is it's very interesting. We have Astrobot, Blator, never even heard of that game, Black Myth Wukong, a DLC of all things, Elden Ring, Shadow of the Eldtree, Final Fantasy Remake, don't care, it's a dime a dozen, and Metaphor. I'm surprised Simile isn't on this list, but I'm surprised. A lot of people are actually pissed off about the Elden Ring thing, because a lot of people saying that DLC shouldn't be in that spot. But this is the thing. It's called Game of the Year. What is that DLC? It's an expansion to a video game. It is a game. So of course that, and a lot of people are saying, why not make its own category? And I think people are just stretching too goddamn much, because truthfully, in my opinion, I'm playing Elden Ring's Shadow of the Eldtree right now. It feels like a second game masked as DLC. It is actually a second game, so I could give two craps, because truthfully, if people are that butthurt that a DLC is in the Game of the Year category and they want to make more categories, then fine. Let's make Action Adventure of the Year. Let's make Puzzle Game of the Year. Let's make freaking... So they kind of just want to split apart everything, and that's not fair, because now it's going to make so much freaking more categories. Imagine that. DLC of the Year, microtransaction of the year, worst game of the year. Like there shouldn't be there's already a lot of categories as it is. There's already 29 categories. I don't think they want 50, so I could give two craps about what people think. But truthfully, in my opinion, it's not going to be a good Game of the Year, because first of all, I already know who's going to win. Out of the entire collection, the three that have the highest potential is going to be Astrobot, Black Myth Wukong, and Elden Ring Shadow of the Eldtree. The other three, I think, are not even going to be close. But here's the problem. Here's the really massive problem. I think between the three, there's only one game that's most likely going to get Game of the Year, and I 100% bet it will be. And that's Astrobot. I heard that Astrobot was heavily loved. People really enjoyed it. So most likely, Astrobot will actually get Game of the Year. I don't think Black Myth Wukong or Elden Ring will. I think it's 100% going to be Astrobot. So that's unfortunate, but it is what it is. It would be actually funny if Elden Ring, because truthfully, if it's between Black Myth Wukong and Elden Ring, I think Elden Ring would beat out Black Myth Wukong. But Astrobot, out of all of them, will beat them out, I think. As for the other categories, I could really care less about. There's the whole best game direction. That one's a hard one. Best narrative, that one's also hard. That might actually be Silent Hill 2, because out of all the other games, I don't know. Maybe Final Fantasy's Remake? Who knows? There's a lot of other ones. There's also Content Creator one. Out of all of them, you could tell how out of touch I am with bigger YouTubers and content creators. I don't know a single person on that list. Just literally, I think the two people in that content creation section are going to be either Queso or that VTuber. I don't know any of those other people. I only know Queso based off of the fat memes, and I picked the VTuber also because it's a VTuber. You'd be really surprised. how many people will go for VTuber. So I don't know either of those content creators. Who knows? But I don't know. It's weird. It's very weird. Truthfully, actually, out of all that, I'm surprised that Kai Cenat's not on there since he's like this really big thing right now. So that's actually kind of interesting. What's some other interesting gaming news? Oh yeah, this is the stupidest thing I've ever heard. Apparently, a teenager was arrested for trying to import a knife from France into Britain. And it's very funny. It was a Karambit Doppler from CSGO. Apparently, they also arrested him for one other thing. He apparently had Class A drugs, which when I looked up what Class A drugs are in Britain, I thought it was going to be weed. No, it's not that good, wacky tobacco. No, apparently Class A is stronger stuff than that. So, oh boy. 18 are already doing really bad life decisions. But the fact that the British arrested him over a knife, of all things, a prop replica of a CSGO Karambit Doppler, which, I mean, looking at the photo, he doesn't have that bad of taste. It's a pretty decent knife. Pretty damn decent. But it just goes to show me why I'm so happy I live in America and not Garbage Island, because holy crap, Britain's just falling apart. Their government's corrupt, way worse than America. Their leaders are idiots, way worse than America. Pretty much the people have very little freedom. They're said that they have freedom, but it's not as much. Like, hell, I have a friend who's British, and I didn't know this. I learned this recently. But apparently in Britain, if you own a home and have full rights to that home, if you want to do any remodeling or changing of your home, you actually have to ask a board of your town or city for permission. In America, if we want a pool in our backyard, we'll just pay the contractor and we're done. We just had to ask the city to like figure out where the hell gas lines and stuff like that are, but they don't give a crap. But maybe it depends on state. But in Britain, god damn, I'm so damn happy I don't live in Britain. It's such a terrible country. Like, I love how that's their way to solve crime, is just arrest people with knives. If he has a butter knife, arrest him. They banned guns. They're trying to ban knives. What next? They're going to ban hammers and tools and cars. Like, you can't ban everything, my dudes. Come on, don't be idiots. But yeah, I mean, hey, on the sad side, I will say this. On the other side, on the other hand, I will say this. I do feel like they did have a right to arrest him for the Karambit, because in my opinion, I like butterfly knives better in CSGO. Like, come on. But yeah, that's a very stupid thing to arrest a person over, is just having a knife. In America, we can just have knives as much as possible. They don't give a crap about that. Let's see, what's some other interesting pieces of news that I learned? Oh yeah, another horrible thing. Apparently, the EA CEO wants to be the next Disney CEO. And all I can say is, for the love of God, don't. You're an idiot as a CEO. You're a dumbass, and your company is a piece of garbage. You only cared about microtransactions, and it really ruins your billion-dollar company. I've never played an EA game in years. Don't be the CEO. Legitimately, a janitor can do your job for you, and probably better. Just don't. Andrew Wilson, don't be the Disney CEO. You're an idiot. You don't deserve the spot. Let's see, what's some other interesting stuff? Oh yeah, apparently it's the 20th anniversary of Half-Life. And if you guys are interested, Half-Life is currently it's the 20th anniversary of Half-Life, and funny enough, all the Half-Life games are on sale. And not to mention, after 20 years, Half-Life 2 actually has workshops, which is beautiful, because now people can actually do tons of stuff in the Half-Life games and install workshop items, which is great. Not to also mention, we might actually get Half-Life 3. After 20 goddamn years, we might actually finally have solved the biggest situation in Valve and Steam, and that's them trying to figure out how to count to 3. So yeah, because they were actually showing some insight as to like what they've been doing, and they've been making actually some stuff for the Half-Life game. So we actually might get a Half-Life 3, because they were showing stuff like an ice gun and tons of other cool stuff. So I'm super duper excited if we're gonna get a freaking Half-Life 3. because I'm a big Half-Life fan. I've 100%ed all the games and 100%ed all the Steam achievements. Currently, I've noticed one thing that's interesting, just to like end off the whole little mini gaming news thing, since I just wanted to talk. This has been kind of a bad year for gaming, I will say. A lot of good games have come out, but also a lot of bad stuff has happened. I really feel like gaming studios need to start realizing that live service games and also trying to bet their entire company and career on a single title is something that they should not do, because it's extremely high risk, high reward. Because legitimately, one thing I've noticed is a lot of games came out, like the Suicide Squad game and Concord, and they had so much high hope for them, and then they just completely died. Like Concord was $200 million budget, and the studio's completely dead. The developers threw everyone under the bus, and it was such a nasty failure. Even the Suicide Squad game, at current time of talking, only 100 people are playing it. Hell, even the new Assassin's Creed game that hasn't even come out yet, developers and actual people who have play tested the game said that it's the worst garbage they've ever played. So all in all, like, it's pretty bad year for gaming, specifically for companies, because they're being very risky, and they're being very stupid, and they're actually not thinking, and they're actually screwing up. I mean, hell, even Bungie, they've done some stupid stuff, not listening to their community, and it really bit them in the ass. They had a second layoff. Sony's not really happy with them right now, and they're trying to like figure out where to put some of the employees that got fired and laid off. Some are completely laid off, while others are being merged into other studios. So it's an absolute nightmare for gaming. It was a bad year for gaming, in my opinion, but I mean, we did have some good games that did come out. I'll add another two little bit of gaming news. So apparently, Nintendo's still suing Palworld, which is disgusting as hell. I actually recently had a little bit of a fight with a YouTuber on Twitter, because he was trying to he was like being passive. He was saying that he thinks that both companies are in the wrong, but then he immediately started going after Palworld. And when I was looking at the YouTuber, I can tell he's a very biased person, because he's a Nintendo fanboy. Just looking at his entire channel is just nothing but Nintendo fan service. But so pretty much he was a very biased person, and you have to be neutral when it comes to stuff like this and not take a side. And in my opinion, I'm taking I'm taking Palworld's side more than Nintendo, because after looking at all the evidence, which he looked at, because he said a friend gave him proof to back up that Nintendo's in the right. And when I looked at the evidence, it was like, no, it doesn't. It's actually completely the opposite. And whenever the source of your credibility is a friend, that's not good, because I actually looked it up, and I looked up documents. I looked up actual patent lawyers talking about this. I looked up a lot of stuff. Pretty much Nintendo's being a jackass. Nintendo's bullying Palworld. And the reason why they're bullying Palworld is they're afraid. Nintendo, the multi-billion-dollar company, is afraid because someone made a Pokemon-like game with new creativity and did a better job than they did. And Nintendo's now butthurt and is just bullying them, because truthfully, the fact that they're the only thing that they have going for them is they're suing Pocket Pair a small amount of money for a patent infringement is disgusting. Not to mention that Nintendo did something very shady. They had original patents, and what they did is they made new patents and then merged the new patents with the old patents. So it's just absolutely disgusting and shady how Nintendo is. And I could give two craps what the fanboy Nintendo glazers can say. Nintendo's a disgusting multi-billion-dollar company that's hurt a lot of people throughout the years. They're a scumbag company. And it's actually really surprising, too. For a company made by Japanese people, you would expect the Japanese to have more honor, but it looks like the people working at Nintendo, the higher-ups, are dishonorable people that are scumbags. But yeah, it is what it is. It's unfortunate, but I really think that the lawsuit's a joke and it's probably going to be thrown out. Who knows? It might not be thrown out. Maybe Nintendo might rig this court since they are ex-Yakuza. But all in all, I feel bad for Pocket Pair. They made a good game. They actually were nice and loving to their community. And now they're being bullied by a billion-dollar asshole company that could care less because they already make a ton of money. Power World making a nice game that people enjoyed isn't going to bleed Nintendo's pocketbook. They're just being a petty shit company. And that's why I'll never buy from Nintendo ever again. Because that's the thing. I have to say, Nintendo I have to agree with and respect as game creators because the way how I grew into becoming a gamer is Nintendo. When I was a little kid, my first gaming console was a GameCube. And I really did enjoy playing Nintendo games. But after years and years, I started becoming a PC gamer. And then eventually I just stopped playing Nintendo games because it's so stupidly designed how they made it. Because that's the thing. If you want to play the latest Nintendo games, you had to buy a $200, $300 console just to then spend $40 to $60 on a game, just to then later, a couple of years later, have to buy another console once they upgrade and improve on the gear. It's ridiculous. A PC is a one and done thing which I can use for like 10, 15 years, especially my computer with how I built it. But freaking the way Nintendo's designed it, it's mostly trying to cater to getting idiots to buy their consoles to make them more money. And truthfully, that's why I'll never buy another Nintendo game ever again. If they really cared about their community, they would put their games openly on things like Steam and Epic Games. They'd probably even make more money since they would open up a new channel for people to just buy stuff. Because legitimately, if they put all of the Nintendo games on Steam, I would buy it in a heartbeat, but sadly they won't. So yeah, I'm never ever buying from Nintendo ever again. Not to also mention, I want to not buy from them just based off of principle, because they've done horrible things, and I feel like a person and even a company's reputation matters. And if their reputation is soiled, then they shouldn't deserve the people's money. Now, for another last little fine bit of news, apparently a U.S. senator is accusing Valve of allowing hate groups. Apparently, it's this whole BS shenanigans because, of course, it's a U.S. senator. They're the smartest people of the nation, so they definitely know what they mean. But apparently, certain imagery like Pepe and some other stuff is considered hateful and is a part of hateful movements and agendas, and truthfully I could give two craps about that. When it comes down to gaming and online gaming, seeing Pepe the Frog isn't, in my opinion, considered hate, especially when you play a game like Call of Duty and the first thing you get to hear is someone calling you the N-word 7 times. If a senator really cared about racism and hate speech and all that stuff and hate groups, then pretty much well, actually, now that I think about it, because now I'm starting to, like, my gears are starting to turn, there's no way to stop it. That's the thing about video gaming. There's lots of hateful people. The fact that a U.S. senator is blaming Valve for allowing hate groups to spread on Steam is a joke, because when it comes down to it, the entire internet is filled with hate groups. What are you going to do? Shut the entire internet off to prevent hatred? So what? If you just remove hatred from the internet, hatred will just increase in the real world then. Like, it's unfortunate. It is what it is. It's a dark thing, but at this point, I think there's nothing you can do to stop it. It's kind of like prostitution or alcohol. Some things in the world will just continue to exist no matter what era, I think. It's unfortunate, but Valve allowing hate groups is a joke by that U.S. senator, who's most likely one of those boomer idiots who most likely had very protective parents that made him into a tight ass. Because legitimately, there's nothing Valve can do. There's nothing a lot of game companies can do. They can kind of like highly look down on it, but they can't really stop it. If you plug your finger in the leak of a dam, all that's going to happen is a new leak's going to appear. It's like a Hydra. You cut the head off of one head of you cut the head off of one part of the Hydra. 7 more heads are gonna appear. It's unfortunate, but it is what it is. But yeah, that's pretty much all the news, the gaming news. I just wanted to talk about a little bit of gaming news since I don't really want to record a video game today because my head is killing me and it feels like a drill is just drilling straight through my skull. Like, god damn, I hate my Gen X because of that bullshit. But yeah, I'm happy to, if you guys have watched the whole video and just heard my opinions on some gaming news. I would have put like flashy cards showing like information, all that stuff, like most like talking YouTubers, but I'm gonna just quickly edit this. I don't feel good. I feel like shit, but I just wanted to make sure that I at least have like one video with the Elden Ring video today, since I'm always on a tight schedule. So yeah, so I have to end it here. I'll see all of you next video. See ya!